Hello and welcome back to me playing Oxygen Not Included in hard mode. Dupes eating twice the amount of calories, getting stressed out easily. We're starting off this episode expanding this because I want to move eventually to the phase 2 of the Research Reactor. Right now, the simplified version, which gets me to get dupes to go through this area and specifically just put in 5 kilograms or a very small amount and run this for periods of time just when I need to have the material study terminal applied. But I'd rather have it running all the time, have the dupes just put in as much enriched uranium as they can, and have the heat managed from this system. So look, just put in pieces of that. Let's do the thermal aquatuners. Oh, or not. Or not. Let's generate some steel. So thankfully I've got this system to handle heat from that, so I will even put it at 50. Probably going to need some iron. Alright, so we'll let that run. And how about in the meantime we do some drywalling? Probably should have not filled in those tiles. So I've got more drywalling to install over here as well. Back on the other world, so while those dupes are doing that, let's have a look in here. We've got the dupes to put in some diamond just before one of the dupes takes off. Let's get those wheezy wart seeds. I think that's a final thing before one of these dupes, Explorer, goes back. So that'll be added. We'll have a place to produce oxygen while this dupe travels. It is time for Explorer to go home. They have all kinds of goodies on the rocket that the home world would love to have. And plus this base really only needs one dupe to man it at this point. Now I don't have enough carbon dioxide to actually get home, but I can get to the outside of that and just use gravity to fall down when they get here. Don't worry about Explorer, you're going to be just fine. So they're on their way. Just check that, so it's going to be 1.4 cycles. Verify, yeah, they've got some food to eat on the way. Ability to produce oxygen. Alright, they'll be back in no time. Explorer has almost made it to the outside of this asteroid. There they are. If I say change, now go here. It works. So Explorer is landing. Depending on how things go, that might be one of my last carbon dioxide engine launches, apart from maybe producing some databanks. Well, I can see lots of interplanetary payloads have loaded. I don't have a use for natural gas at the moment, but I'm going to. So I want to accelerate the production or the development of this area. And most of the time is spent doing what this dupe is doing right now, climbing these stairs. So that's why I researched the transit tube. We're going to put that in place. And have our dupes go up in this just to alleviate the painful, slow process of dupes going up and down the ladder. So one thing I'm wanting to add right now is to tell the thermal aquatuner not to run when power is low, especially during nighttime. So I can do that with a smart battery. Build this right here, so it's going to be connected to the power supply. It's going to have a logic gate, and not right after it. And we'll connect that in and send that towards this. And we're going to have an AND gate put on and say, essentially going to say you can't run unless it's water needs to be run, needs to be warmed up or cooled off, and there's enough power. So both those conditions must be true. Cooling is actually needed, and you've got the power to do so. Otherwise, don't run. So Miner has done the construction over here, so if I put setting here, I'm going to put 90. Basically what that's going to do is, as long as I have 90 or more power, it's going to send true, meaning that if you're 90 plus power-wise, we've got a little bit of an issue, a little fix there. But if that's the case, then you can run. But if it goes below 90, then even if this thing needs cooling, turn it off. Probably nighttime. Just wait for the morning when the solar panels kick in. So there are changes to make around this water system. First of all, I'm going to actually put in a desalinator. So that's going to be refinement desalinator. Put that about here. That's a hungry power user, so we'll put heavy wire in for that. Now, I'm going to want to have the salt or brine go through this to warm up. This currently is 14 degrees, which is actually pretty chilly. So let's put in a liquid temperature here. That's definitely going to want to have a thermo sensor next to it with automation wire to tell it when to run. That thing's a hungry power user as well, so we actually might bring heavy wire down for that. And then the other thing we have to put in is the actual pipe. So we have a brine line somewhere. So a lot of pipes to work around, but let's go ramp down from here. So this is going to be our brine going in. And what line? Essentially this pipe here is brine. So if I can connect to that. Get rid of this. Make sure we don't mix pipes. I don't want polluted water going to desalinator or anything like that. So extract some of this stuff. Get rid of that bridge for me. There we go. Okay, I want to put a tile right here. And we'll have brine go up from there. Might as well cut it off. So we're using some of the other pipes. That's not going to go anywhere unless I have this liquid bridge pushing this up. Now, the whole reason I'm doing this initially is because this area has just become too cool. I did some natural heating process over here to heat polluted water when it went through the sieves, but that's kind of run out. This area has cooled off too much, so I need something that will actually maintain its temperature. Hence why I've got the liquid temporizer. That's going to be sending this brine that'll be warmed up at this point in this direction. I'm going to make this go into this water system. So I want it to meet at this point, but I want this one to have the priority. Do that by having it shaped like this. So essentially the water comes, that it's recycled as a priority going in, but if that's out, then the desalinator will kick in for us. Put that there. And the brine should be flowing soon enough. So I put a tile here just to prevent dupes from going out. I'm going to destroy some of these to make room for the transportation unit. Okay, with these gone, I can now get in the transportation tube access. Put that right here. You can see I need some more plastic. So I'll need a station to tell them to put on the suit before they leave this area. Just having the dupes reinstall this just a little bit further away. It's going to have the petroleum line going into it. Like that. Crude oil is already lined up to be used, so we should be producing more plastic soon enough. So liquid temporizer is now on, having it set to run if it's below 20 degrees. That's going to make sure, or help to ensure that this brine, it's coming in at -7, but by the time it leaves here, it's 13 degrees. So this thing won't break as it converts brine to water. Building a second polymer press just to keep up with the demand of plastic. Just probably be running that temporarily until I get this tube. Let's go look at the progress of the tube. They're pretty close to making it to the top. Just a little bit more plastic, and then transportation team or tube will actually improve the speed the rest of this project's going to go. So the tube is complete. We may just be watching the first dupe take the tube. Oh, we are. We're going all the way up here. Awesome. So this is just going to speed up this whole development of this, allowing me to complete this. So I'm going to go back to telling the dupes to install drywall everywheres. And once this is in, well, we can advance this room finally. In this asteroid, I think it is time to set up a line from the crude oil to the launcher. So now I can actually have crude oil sent to the home world without a rocket when that's built. So I have my tube access that allows dupes to get here quick, but it still takes a lot of time when they leave this area because they want to do some other tasks. So what I had them do is drop off some granite in this bin at high priority. That's been loaded. So now I'm going to tell dupes, you can't leave. So once you go in this area, you're stuck there. So all you can do really is construct stuff. And I'm going to do this for the next few cycles, just during the day part of the cycle, so that they're still able to go back and take their break. But instead of seeing dupes go back and forth, I should now be seeing dupes stay around this area for the duration that I've had that door closed on them. This is just going to speed things up a bit. So, remind myself, I'll have to watch this. If this needs to be refilled, then I'll do that. So I also need some drywall here that's going to have some liquid that is going to keep the steam turbines cool. Also going to have multiple rad bolt generators. We'll go with 4 for now anyway. Gonna be very careful that I remember towards before break starts to let them out. So it looks like we're out of granite here, so I'm gonna tell the dupes fill that up with high priority again. Now I've got the door open so they can go in and out as they please. Probably as long as this gets filled up at the beginning of the next cycle, I'll do the same thing just to advance this little construction area. It's taking a lot of work. It takes a lot of work, 400 kilograms of material to fill in some drywall, and it takes a while to build it as well. And there's, as you can see, a lot of pieces that need to be built. Just loading more granite, and I noticed that colony achievement has been earned. Totally tubular. Oh yeah, of course. I have duplicates travel 10,000 meters by transit tube. It's just by the fact of having this going up all the time, I got that achievement. Let's have a quick look while all this is going on. What's happening with this dupe? Pretty much just digging, mining, getting lead, iron ore, fossils, all that, so that I can eventually bring that back to the home world in time. I have both a solarium synthesizer and a critter flexomatic. Haven't used either yet. May use this in the next little bit. Probably won't use this for a bit though. We'll see about that. My focus now is really just getting Research Reactor infrastructure built. Just realized one thing I want to do for achievement-wise, if nothing else, is to make sure that I tame each of the different types of critters. So trap this guy in there, tame that one. But I gotta tame one of these guys too. I want to have something that's 96 tiles or smaller. Maybe that looks pretty big. I think this right there might actually be the best spot. Just need the green station to be put in the middle. Oh, not floating above though. So the drywalling is nearly complete. It's time to put in the steam turbines. So I'm going to put 3 here. So on the left bottom wing, then we're going to have 10 across the top. 2, 4. Just have to do this one at a time. Here. Alright, what are we short? Probably plastic. Get the dupes to put more crude oil. High priority here. Now I probably have crude oil amongst this mess, so it would not be a bad idea to put where is that? Do I have to, oh maybe it's something I have to research yet. So I've researched the payload opener. I knew if that was in shipping or rocketry. Assumed it was with rocketry. Alright, so I'm going to put this right here, close to where the payloads are. And connect that with the crude oil line. It's going to converge over here. And I won't have to get the dupes to manually drop off this, though they do have to put the opener in that. But it's still way more efficient than these bottle emptiers. So we noticed that hydrogen has been draining, so I'm consuming a lot more power. So I'm going to tell a lot of the heavy watt machinery, maybe just these 4, maybe don't run during the night period. So I'll have a sensor, clock sensor, cycle sensor right here. get that to a bridge over. That will connect to all these things, essentially saying during the nighttime when the solar panels aren't producing anything, maybe don't run. So here is the can opener, payload opener. That's providing crude oil so I can get more plastic. So the game is picky with achievements. I've tamed this guy here, but they're not a slicker, they're a long hair slicker. So I need to find an actual slicker. There's one. In order to get the achievement, which I'm going for. So I will tame you instead. So that you can see here. If I go to colony summary, look at the critter, whisperer. I need to tame a slicker, but not any of the variants of a slicker, just the slicker. The Draco has been added to my list though, so that's one thing. So all the drywalling is in. Most of the steam turbines are in. Next, it is time to connect some heavy watt wires. But I have most of amalgam. Let's use that. There's no point in creating all these steam turbines if I'm not actually going to be pulling the power from it and loading that into my system. So we're ready to go. Let's go up like this. A little piece here that wasn't needed. So there's that. The other thing that I want to do, definitely before I turn this system on, is be pushing the, I'm going to put this through an insulated ceramic, I'm going to push the water that's going to go out of these things back into the system. So that is going to be one side of it. The other side, so we'll do that side right here. Actually, maybe I'll dump it right on it. That's going to be insulated until we get to this point. Up like this, this, and this. In fact, actually, why not just match that? Now that I think about it. So this is the cooling process. This is what keeps it cool. Gonna make these liquid vents out of steel as well as anything else in this area, generally always out of steel. So we have multiple vents for the ones on the top, because what I don't want to happen is to have water essentially back up in the pipes. So I will actually put 3 of these. We'll do insulated pipes from here, here, here. We'll connect this up like that, because I'm going to have an insulate or a cooling line on the bottom. So I'll connect to these 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then there will be 4 in the middle that connect to here. So I needed to give Miner the ability to do Metatronics engineering. So they're excited about that. So I'm going to build an auto sweeper right here that's going to be able to access all these bins. And put a conveyor loader right here. Both those things are going to need some power. And then I'll be able to send all this material back home. So this is going to head towards the interplanetary launcher. So that is iron, iron ore, fossil, diamond. I think there's more algae for me to get out, copper ore, anything that I want to put in material form, I'm going to put in here. And then I'll put the same value here once this is built. So while the rest of this is being built, I'm going to bring up my brine line. So I definitely need cooling with all the hot steam. These steam turbines definitely need to be kept cool. So let's start the loading of that. Put this in this liquid reservoir for now. This will connect all the way over here. Now this is my salt line. I prefer brine to salt for cooling. And that should start to load this while the rest of this is being built. A quick look over here. Making progress to this, so I can do the settings for this. Essentially what I'm going to do, get the dupe to drop off all the materials I care about here. And then I'm going to tell this, and it's going to be at higher priority, we'll just make it 6. Won't have dupe access, which is fine. That's what the sweeper is for. That's going to load diamond. What else do we want? We want iron, or lead. We will get some iron ore. So we want fossils as well. And organic algae. Okay, and then once, just a few more pieces of track. But once the dupe starts landing some stuff in these bins, that's going to make it back to my homeworld without a rocket. Nice. So I've got some brine being loaded into here. There's definitely more to do, but this is going to do for now, at least for tonight, so I'll end this episode here. I had seen some discussion in the comments. It looks like a number of people are saying 10 is the number of steam turbines you need to make this stable. So I've got an extra 3 on either side here, so additional 6. So I definitely should be more than sufficient. The other thing that I believe Astrostar was suggesting a different way to do this by having the actual automation on this. So I won't build it right now, but maybe I'll just do this now to see if this was the idea. But I think this is what they were saying. Essentially, you would take a temperature of the liquid. Need that pipe thing. So this would be a liquid sensor, and then that would potentially feed into this one here. And the idea is, if cooling is needed, it would go like this, or in here, and then out that. And if cooling is not needed, it would go out like that. Anyway, I'll leave that. I think that's going to be enough for some food for thought. I think that's how I'll implement those when I get to that. So what is left? The big thing is, we need an actual cooling line to go around. We need some brine to be sitting on top of these things. A little bit of walling needs to be done. Automation around here. So I want to detect when I have to wait for the water to turn to steam first. But when I know there's just this waste, nuclear waste, I'll put a hydro sensor right here. And if it detects anything, it'll open this door and that'll just drain out, and I'll have the same thing on the other side. So that's how I'm going to handle the waste. Cooling, I've got 2 aqua tuners on both sides. The other thing I may do, and it may not be needed, but it's what I've done before, is have a conveyor line that goes from here in. So essentially, it may be loaded up with granite, and it'll take some of the heat from this and sort of disperse it over here. And other than that, maybe just a few little modifications around automation around that. I think in the next episode I'll be turning this on, but this time when I turn it on, I'm going to fully let the dupes put all the enriched uranium. I'll let the whole place turn to steam, and I'll be getting a ton of power, a ton of rad bolts, maybe put on multiple generators once these steam turbines are producing power. Just before I leave, let's look at this. Excellent. So the dupe has already started to load in some material. Just waiting for this to fire a few more times. And then I'll be getting all this material back in my homeworld. That's definitely going to do for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments, suggestions, ideas. Thanks for clicking the like button and just watching. And hopefully I will see you in a future video. Till then.